what is going on YouTube? This is Acid Roots. In this particular episode, this will be part 12 of the Ravioli run as far as what's first going to happen. So basically this is just a mindless kind of droning episode just with the pitch. It's kind of more for white noise that I'd say within the fair behind it. There might be a little bit of interesting type fair here, but just kind of stacking up some grinding pitches like that. I realized just kind of the concept of it. I mean, I realized that probably at the stage I'm at, I think within the fashion behind it, just stocking up on a few more items and pitches like that, I could probably just go ahead and tackle the final dungeon. But it's just a little bit to beefing up the playlist a little bit, just give it a little bit more venom towards it. I look after here. I mean, I would look after it. Certain folks, when you talk about role-playing games, some of those type pitches, Final Fantasy games, some folks like them to be beaten within a quicker type fashion, but I don't know how I feel about that particular concept as far as like a Final Fantasy game that's supposed to be like, you know, in terms of like a person that knows what they're doing on YouTube, it being like a 10-hour or 12-hour kind of excursion. I look after it. I don't know. I feel like this kind of stretching it out a bit is to have like the concept here as far as what's first going to happen, just kind of within the pitch, just getting the levels up a little bit more. I realize that the party member that's not the main character, Zone as he's known in this game, is never going to level up. So it's kind of within the pitch of just mindless kind of grinding to kind of get towards the pitch. But really with these enemies, this is kind of a stage in the game. I want to say this is like the third crystal. The ice crystal was the second one. The sand crystal was the first one. So this is one pitch. This is the third out of the four of them. So this is actually deeper in the game than I have remembered in the past. But this is kind of the pitch. So I'm just surprised these enemies are not given more kind of experience. I probably need to be more towards like that particular kind of Windbird. I forget what the name of that particular boss was, but I remember doing that like a few years ago. It was just going to pitch as far as saying, like, some of those enemies, I didn't really do those battlefields back in the day either, so it's just going to pitch as far as saying, I'm just stacking up some of these. So I don't know how many more of these grind episodes are going to happen here, but it's just kind of the concept. I would just kind of have this on for just the sake of white noise and some of those type pitches. I mean, in terms of like something notifiable within the pitch, if you're looking for like something on like this acidic roots type tip, something like that, that would kind of be within the pitch. Which really, I mean, that particular YouTube channel, the main channel that is associated with this one, is just kind of more droning as well within the pitch. It's not really as if there's really any like extra treats or goodies going on within those aspects, but I just look after it's just the same sort of pitch. Like Reggie's birthday is coming up, so that's within the pitch as far as talking about that. I guess that's something I could talk about there. Is just he's going to be 4 in May, so it's kind of the pitch as far as saying, and it is May, but just to say his birthday is like in mid-late May, so May 17th is his birthday as far as those first going to happen. So he's going to be 4. It's a pretty good pitch, just realizing that the spin-off saga of Acidic Roots is 4 years ago, just within those conducts as far as those first going to happen. Just exactly 4 years ago, still technically year 6 of Acidic Roots, but I look after here just being able to say that the spin-off saga briefly roped up just a year ago as far as this pitch kind of happens. So it's just within the fair. But yeah, I just look after here, so kind of the conduct of it, just same dronings, pitches like that. I just have to say within the aspect, just not much terribly real noteworthy kind of going on. Just the news, kind of the same sort of pitch, but just looking after it like. So yeah, I mean, this game is a blast to play. I look after here. I mean, this is the sort of concept when folks kind of talk about in certain senses how it's like talked about as if like golden years of video games are kind of ending and pitches like that. Certain aspects, depending upon who you talk to, say that games are just never going to be as good as they were. Some folks feel like the 90s were the best for video games. Some folks feel like the 2000s. Some folks even feel like the 2010s. But I don't know. I just question by the time we get to like the 2030s that folks are going to really miss like the 2020s, because this is like the era of like, you know, you would say microtransactions and like downloadable content and updates that you have to do in order to play the game, the more digital type era. I mean, it's just kind of a hate it or leave it, you know, take it or leave it type aspect within some of these type fairs. But I mean, to me, this game is, you know, Mystic Quest is a definite classic here. This is just an easy kind of time burner, kind of get within the tones, but it is frustrating. I mean, for people nowadays, I mean, the concept behind playing like a role-playing game like this one, that's fashioned like this one, but just in like 2020, or probably even I would say as far back as like 2017. I mean, games just don't typically have like this sort of frustration. They just make the games longer now. But I mean, these games were were gorgeous within the concept, and by that I mean the pitch as far as saying just the aspects of like the fundamentals of it, just within the pitch as far as saying that this is what you had to do. I mean, it gets really drony. It's just with an aspect as far as saying that it just really drones on. You have to fight these same enemies. Just looking within this battlefield, we fought these Komodo dragon-like dudes like 10, 15 times. Some of those type of aspects, but it's just kind of the tone as far as saying you just look after it. It's just kind of like the concept of it just is kind of it's just monotonous. It's just kind of, I mean, there's a lot of Super Nintendo games. It's like probably like the third or fourth Super Nintendo game I've played within the past 3 or 4 years, probably since like the early 2020s, where I've realized that there was a lot of monotony about these games back in the day. And I just question how many folks within like games nowadays have like that tolerance for certain kinds of monotony. So we are going to do some other stuff. I'm going to kind of hop in the town because I wanted to see if I could buy some bombs. I think you actually have to go to the dungeons to get restocked on those. So I don't know. I'm probably not going to do that because I'm just not going to wander around dungeons for 50 minutes just trying to find 30 bombs within those packagings, but I don't know what I'll do within those aspects to get those back. Just would have to kind of say, I just figured I could buy them. I mean, you'd think you'd be able to buy them in the towns. I mean, I think if you know folks that know this game like the back of their hand, they'd say, but you can at least get seeds here, which is pretty good, but I really don't, I mean, considering that I last played these particular areas of this game back in 2018, I mean, the wind areas with like the wind bird and like the walking tree and some of those type of things I played back in 2022, but it's been, you know, either 7 or 4 years ago since I played a lot of this game, but I just don't remember it as much. I mean, it really just has to do with me just questioning whether or not I can get to like a further level within some of those type of aspects. It's whether or not I want to get to level 30 or 32, or I'm maybe not 32, but just the aspect of just shoring up some of these battlefields, seeing if I can get any other magic kind of spells, pitches like that, like thunder. I just question because I want to say there's a lot more spells to get in this damn game. This is in the pitch behind it. Some of them might be in dungeons, just in treasure chest pitches like that, but I think other ones are within the battlefields. I mean, I'm not going to unlock everything in this game. I realize that there's some stuff that, just at least in my playthrough, is not going to be shown as full bound, but this is in the pitch as far as saying that I am at least going to try to shore up some of these battlefields just within the fair behind it. So this is kind of the concept as far as saying, I don't know how many more of these. This is really only like the second kind of grind episode within those fairs. I would look after pretty much like, I want to say with like the beefier episodes where I did those back in the original Ravioli run that I was talking about that kind of had them in like the 50-minute essences. I think I got to like 7 or 8 of those, so this might be part of the 9th one. But considering that most of these playthroughs have been about 8 minutes, it's kind of with the pitch. I think I'm probably up to about 24 minutes. I think maybe possibly like the 9th one or the 8th one, whichever one I was on, could be just like this grind episode. It'd be pretty monotonous, but it's just kind of the pitch of just getting like the spells here worth what to do. So it's just basically an episode to just munch on nachos, pitches like that, have some of those type of tangents, you know, go get some food, wait, you know, do all these sorts of things, just you know, just play darts, whatever the hell's going on. Just standard pitches like that. It's kind of essence of waiting for the pizza guy to show up at your house. Some of those type pitches. It's kind of monotony within the aspect behind it, but just easy kind of phone check type stuff. Hop on Twitter, some of those type aspects. Know your memes, some of those type places to be able to check in with some stuff as far as those fairs gonna have. So it's just the pitch within it, but I probably will. I'm trying to figure out. I don't know how many more of these grind episodes are gonna happen. I might do more of these, just depending upon the essence of it. The last one was pretty popular, so it's just one pitch as far as saying. But I look after here, so subscribe for more fun. Part 13 of like, we'll get to more of these, just in other words.